Welcome to episode 453 of the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. Today we've got a case study for you. I thought it'd be good to share this one as we come to the end of one year and we move into 2025. And if there's anybody out there that's had a slightly tough time over the last 18 months, this definitely is a podcast and case study for you to listen to. So today we're sharing Steve's story, and Steve's been working with us now for 18 months. It's Steve Lea. He works with Coalesce Recruitment, is the MD and founder, and we want to share his story of marketing cynic and going from zero marketing to landing over 36K in retained projects, how he increased his LinkedIn connection rate by over 40%, how he got another 8 new clients, how he increased his fee to 25% per fee, and also the exact process that he went through to generate 26K's worth of candidate-led placements. Now, this is a podcast as well as a video because Sharon interviewed him. So I really encourage you to go and watch the video on the Superfast Recruitment website. You'll also find it on our YouTube channel. And I know Steve's the sort of guy you can relate to. He's got over 28 years experience in his sector. He knew that he needed to do something because he wasn't being able to compete and get the reach in the same way. And I have to say, caveat here, all power to Steve, because Steve really put all the work in. He uploaded his own blog posts. He got somebody to help him with some graphics. And he just followed the Superfast Circle system that we teach everyone that joins. And it's really brought some superb results for Steve. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. An obsessive focus on marketing and sales is the only way to accelerate your company growth. So listen in now as we share the latest strategies and techniques guaranteed to deliver you more placements and profits.
Marvellous. We've been working together now for, probably coming up for nearly 18 months, haven't we? But I just wonder if you just take a minute or two to just perhaps set the scene in terms of what was happening for you as a business owner before you came on what I think at the time would have been Recruitment Marketing Week.
It was, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was at a point with the business where, to be blunt, I realised that I needed to get myself, my name and the business out in the marketplace more than it was, to be blunt. There was no marketing activity going on. The only marketing activity that was going on was my own website and sort of the day-to-day business development you do as a recruiter into clients.
Yeah.
As a business, I wasn't doing any marketing activities at all. And I knew that I needed to start getting my name out there and utilising sort of social media avenues. But to be honest, not really knowing where to start, what to start with, how to start. And I think the marketing week came up, didn't it?
It did, yeah. And so, I mean, just before we kind of like explore that a little bit, so what wasn't happening for you that made you kind of like, I guess, come to this sort of conclusion and decision that you needed to start getting the company, you and your brand out there and start doing more marketing?
I think it was purely down to the fact that I couldn't, I suppose, get my name out there, the business name out there to as many people as quickly as possible.
Right.
Or as quickly as I wanted to. Because I am an independent recruiter, so I work on my own completely. So I've got nobody else other than myself doing the day-to-day activity. And it was ways and means of how I could probably do that.
Yeah. So at that point, then you had very much been, I guess, relying on that sort of like that one-to-one approach. And so now it was a case of, I can't keep doing it one-to-one. I've got to find a way of getting out to more people more quickly. Is that what you, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And so visibility then, getting your brand out there was like a major thing. From a marketing point of view, what else, I guess, was a bit of a frustration for you at that time?
I think the frustration was not knowing how to go about it.
Mm.
I knew that some form of marketing had to be done other than what I was doing, but didn't know what I needed to do, what options were out there, what were the best options to utilise for my business, and what would get me, I suppose, the results.
Yeah,
the
where you
growth,
want it to be.
To move forward.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's that not knowing. It's like that knowing. I know I need to do something, and there's a lot that I can do, but as you say, where do I start? What is the one place for me in my business to take that first step? So that is, I think, a common thing, and not just for solo recruiters like yourself either. I think it can be common for micro and smaller SMEs as well. So I don't know if I actually have asked you this, but how did you originally come across Superfast Recruitment? Because I know that you came on Marketing Week, but how did you come across it in the first place?
I actually can't remember. All that I know, it was during lockdown. And I either started following Superfast. I don't know. It was on LinkedIn. Definitely on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn. So
I tried to look.
Yeah. So it probably would have been sort of socials and things that drew you in. Yeah. Okie dokie. And so I remember you came onto Recruitment Marketing Week, spent 5 days with us. And I remember you being super interactive and engaging with that as well. What was it then that made you decide in that instance to join Superfast Circle?
I think within that week, it became very apparent that it was highlighted to me that the type of activities that I needed to start to do, which I didn't have a clue about before. But also it became apparent that I was going to get the support from Superfast to be able to execute that.
Right. Okay.
By the areas we covered.
Yeah.
From a taster point.
Yeah. Got you. So what we covered were the kind of things that you knew you needed to be doing, and I guess for you as a solo, then it was an easier way of, I guess, being able to put things into action.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I know it's been 18 months, and I know we've kind of kept you busy. What would you say have been some of the things that you've been able to achieve in the time that we've been working together?
Being able to put some structure to marketing by having the content, the processes, and the structure given to me to follow. Bearing in mind, I'm not a marketer.
No.
That probably sums it up.
Yeah. And having had and got some of those systems and processes and everything in place, what has that meant for you and the business?
Are you talking from achievements point of view?
Yeah.
So one of the parts I struggled with prior to engaging with yourselves was quite simply getting both candidates and clients to interact with me on LinkedIn.
Right.
Now that probably goes hand in hand with me not being known out there, not showing up enough on LinkedIn, social media. I don't know. But the processes that you've given me, the content has enabled me to sort of increase my connections by 35% in that period. Something like 42% connection rate with clients from a cold outreach following the process you've given to me.
Yeah.
I suppose some highlights that I just want to add is I think I came on board sort of July, August 2023 in the middle of the house move.
Yeah. Of course it was. Yeah.
And to be bluntly honest, I played at it, from that period up until March this year for various reasons. Fear, the unknown, rabbit and headlights, not sure, all those sort of things. And then I think we had a conversation, and since April, to be blunt, by following the process, and I keep harping on about the process, but it is about the process and the content that you guys give me on a monthly basis. It's enabled me to bring on 8 new clients since April.
Wow.
The interesting bit is I really, really struggled before joining Superfast in getting candidates to engage with me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's now turned around, both from a connection point of view, but that's generated £26,000 in net fee income, just off candidate.
Just off,
since April.
Yeah.
And the really, really good thing is in the last 2 weeks, I've secured 2 retained projects worth £36,000 worth of revenue. So I think that speaks volumes. And all I would say is follow the process.
And it's interesting that you talk about the process, because something that I always kind of like admire and respect about you guys and what you do is that the recruitment processes that you have in place, and when you guys work those processes, how well it works with matching client and candidate. And marketing's no different, is it? But when you don't know an awful lot about marketing, it's hard to know, well, what are the processes and how can those processes work? But to hear you say, put a process in place, work it, which really that conversation that we had was, you were working it, but it was that sort of like inconsistency, wasn't it? Whereas what I see the difference has really been is that you've been consistent working that process. And that's what's delivered the results that you're now getting. And that's just going to be the beginning as well. I'm interested a little bit to just maybe, if I can, ask you about the retained, because was a retained service something that you have always done? How did that come about?
No, the retained service is not something I've always done.
No.
Quite simply, I think 28 years of working a contingency model is starting to me, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, yeah.
There are 2 new clients. They had a need. They were, we use the word loosely, desperate. That's probably not the right word. And so I just took them down the benefits of working retained and why they should work.
Yeah.
And two projects come off within 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Now, whether that's luck, I don't know. But that's certainly a route that I'm going to be going and doing more
going
of.
Down.
And also, interestingly, the fee percentage has increased. And all I can think is, by me pitching that retained service, be it probably disjointed because I've not done a lot of it in the past, fees really didn't come into the conversation. Now, I partly believe that's because they already bought into me by the content and having the presence out there and seeing the stuff that I was been posting, and it's already warmed them up, and they can see the value add.
Yes.
Which is what I wasn't in a position to give previously.
Before.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take a moment to connect with all of you amazing listeners. As you know, our podcast isn't sponsored, and we pour our hearts into bringing you quality content for every single episode. Now, if you've been enjoying the show, I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. You can find me at linkedin.com/Denise Oyston. That's Oyston. Just click that link. Let's connect. And also a quick reminder that sharing our podcast or giving us a shout out on social goes a long way to helping grow our community and getting the message out there to all of the small recruitment companies and staffing companies and search companies that want to do well. Your support does mean the world to us, and it helps us to continue doing what we love. So thanks for being part of the journey. Now let's get back to that show.
And there's a couple of things actually, if I can just explore it as well on this. part of the conversation is, the first thing is, go back to 18 months ago, July sort of time, 2023. Would you have had the confidence to have pitched retained?
Not at all. No way.
No. And you're quite clear about that. So what makes you say absolutely no way? Why would you not have been confident then?
Because I think one, I hadn't done it before, but I truly believe it's down to having that presence.
Right. Yeah.
And being in front of people without you realising, and them seeing you posting the value add that they don't get from the typical recruiter.
No.
And I suppose off the back of that, it been getting to the point where I needed to change what I'm doing. 28 years of contingency recruitment. There's got to be a better way. And there is.
Absolutely. And there is. Absolutely. You've proven that to yourself, really. And I suppose it's you rightly keep making that point about sharing value-added content. And I think, let's say the other part of it is as well is that value-added content, what that does is it positions you as that real authority. You've been in the business, as you say, for 28 years. You've worked inside organizations as an engineer. So you know your stuff, to use a very technical word there. But that content is allowing you to get over all this knowledge and this experience. And I guess when people go and check you out, that is what they get. They see this is someone that knows what they're doing. Now, the other thing I just wanted to pick up on was you mentioned about the increased fee when you go retained, which is something that we often talk about in the industry. I was curious, actually, is in terms of when you think about the contingency work that you do, are you still working at the same fee level that you were 18 months ago? What's happened there?
So we've had, just by going the retained route, there's been a 25% uplift.
Right.
And I think the key thing is I've had no resistance to it.
To it whatsoever.
And I believe that is because there's that authority element.
Yeah.
That I never had before.
No.
And that's only going to grow.
Yeah.
Because as time goes on.
And what about your contingency? Have you lifted your contingency rates?
Not as yet, because the majority are with existing clients.
Yeah. Got you.
Out of the new clients that I've brought on, yes, I have.
Yeah. With new clients you have. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant. Which is great, because that in itself is kind of like increasing revenue levels. So every new client that you're bringing on, obviously that's at the new rates. So that's fantastic. So you've got systems in place. You've got a brand presence that's resulting in people engaging with you. You've introduced a new service at a new higher fee level. You're bringing in clients at new contingency rates as well. It's been a pretty good 6 months then, once you've got your head focused on the consistency thing.
Absolutely. Don't know why I delayed, but
well, I think you shared earlier. You were very honest and shared sort of uncertainty, fear, bit of a rabbit in the headlights. Everything's so new, but when you make that commitment, it's like, and you've made it happen, which is really great. When you think then about the complete journey, not just the last 6 months, but the complete journey, let's say, that you've been through with Superfast Circle, how would you say, in addition to the content, which I know you get a lot of value from, how else would you say that the whole Superfast service, how has that helped you?
Having you and Denise there in the background, the ongoing support is constantly there.
Yeah.
One might add that I don't use it enough, but that's another story. But the support is there.
Yeah.
What I like about it, it's like having 2 marketing directors as part of my business, with that expertise, having input into my business.
Yeah.
There is the genuine interest in my business, to the point where you're not afraid to adjust, adapt for my business, to hone things, to fine tune things for my business. I think that's different to what other, let's use the fact, other organisations from a social point of view and whatever might be able to support with. I don't think we get that sort of close, I'm going to use the word close support because that's what it feels like. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know whether that's answered your question, Sharon.
Well, it has. It's kind of like, you know, what you feel, I suppose you've experienced as well. So, and I would agree with you. You could kind of like make more of us because we are here. But I think the great thing is that you know that, and what I really value about you now is that now that you've got it, that when I focus on this stuff kind of like works, is that you come on a call, you say, right, this is what I want to focus on, this is what I want to do next. We talk about a plan. You go away with I say a little, sometimes it's a bit of a longer to-do list, but then you're working on it. And then you'll come back when you've got questions. So you tap into the calls, the one-to-ones and the group calls to keep you on track. So, and of course, you know, let's be real about it as well. You are working on your own. So you are spinning lots of plates. And so, but you're constantly now, I would say, you're keeping this plate, you're just keeping it constantly going, aren't you? And then building on it. So I know we've kind of like been part of programs and things before, and you're not always necessarily sure what to expect and everything. But how would you say your experience has met expectations?
I've looked at other type of programs before to assist me with the marketing side of the business. And I was cynical, even after doing the first week taster session. But the fact of the matter is, I think the results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And what I would say, probably going off on a slight tangent here, what I would say to anybody that's sat in my position where I was 18 months ago, who may be cynical from previous experiences, is to genuinely just go for it, because I am living proof that it does what it says on the tin, providing you put the effort in and you follow the process. Don't do what I do or did and did a stop-start and not enough of it. And even, I say not enough of it, what I've also realised is, being a solo recruiter, I try to do too much. So I've now sort of brought it back within control, that I can control on a day-to-day basis, which then makes it consistent. And that consistency is paid off.
Yeah.
So consistency is the key. Don't think about it. As Nike would say, just do it.
Yeah.
The experience has been phenomenal. It has. And it's only going to get better.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because you sort of said if anybody was sort of, you know, sat on the fence there. So thank you for those kind words. Just thinking about that person, if there is somebody sat on the fence, and it can be for a whole variety of reasons, uncertainty, a little bit of fear that you talk about, a little bit of overwhelm and everything. And what would you say to them as your main reason for joining? What would you say to other owners about why just go for it? Because it's easy to say just go for it, isn't it? But why?
Because the support is there. The support,
Right.
I keep talking about the support, I keep talking about the structure, I keep talking about the content, the framework. There is nothing for them to think about. It is all there for them. They've just got to believe in process. And the process doesn't happen overnight. We're all impatient recruiters, so it doesn't happen overnight. And to be blunt, since I've put some focus on it, it's took about 9 months. Now, that's not to say it could happen quicker than that. That's what it's taken me, because I've had to manage the activity numbers and bring them down so I could manage them on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, in order to kind of make it consistent and then hence manageable and everything. And you were starting from an absolute like zero standstill,
Yes.
weren't you, to build where you are. But then with that consistency from April to where we are now, sort of November time, early December, then it's amazing what you have been able to achieve with bringing on those new clients and everything. So that's great advice. Let me if I could just pick up on, for you, what has been important about having that support? Because you're right, you have mentioned that quite a number of times. What's been so important to you about having it?
It's that peace of mind.
Right.
That peace of mind when you still have days where you question, or I do, I question, is that working? Why is that not working? But I'm not a marketer. You guys are.
Yeah.
So I can jump on a call and go, just lately this has happened, which I find quite strange. And I can have that true marketing experience and input to say, well, when you think about it, it's quite normal. Because, and it's just that, because as we all know, the minute you start stewing on questioning on why something's not working, it's very easy to go, do you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, that's not the problem. There is no problem.
Yeah.
It's the individual that you've potentially reached out to or whatever. So, yeah, I keep banging on about support, but you and Denise are genuinely there and nothing is ever too much trouble. No question is stupid to you guys. I don't think I've ever seen you smirk, laugh, nothing. Nothing is stupid.
No.
So when you're not a marketer and you're looking for that support, there we go again.
Yeah.
That's really, really important. I can't say any more, really. It's if there is a business owner out there that is sat on the fence and not sure, talk to me. Reach out to me. I'll tell you as it is, because I am living proof. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you for that offer. Let's kind of like talk about you and your business then for a second. So with the journey that you've been on so far, fabulous results that you've been sharing, that's kind of like just the beginning. So what's kind of like next in your marketing journey then as we're kind of like head into another year?
Brochures.
Yeah.
You know, things that I can physically give to a client, I think.
Yeah.
Probably some more visuals, nice visuals. And again, I know that how do I create a brochure? I've never done it in my life. Well, guess what? I know who has. You know, so that in itself, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And it's to push certainly more of the retained and probably become a bit more niche, maybe.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of like elevating the brand and having the resources to really kind of like go and target more clients for retained. And and as you say, I know we've been talking about maybe just kind of like narrowing that niche down a little more. So it's going to be busy in the first part of the year for sure. Absolutely, as we're working with you on that, but really looking forward to it. And thank you for sharing today and being really clear and for being so honest, because I think a lot of people will relate to your experience in those early months and the uncertainty of it. And will take a lot of heart, I think, as well, from you saying, look, when you just kind of like commit and you're consistent and also you make that honest decision about this is the amount of time I can put into marketing, but I'm going to do that consistently. And when you are consistent, you've got that process there you can follow, then miraculously it works and you get results. So I just really appreciate you being so honest and about that. So I think a lot of people will relate to your story. So listen, looking forward to more success in 2025 and working with you. So listen, have a great rest of the week, and if we don't see you before the holidays, have a great holiday.
Yeah, and yourself.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you. All the best.
All the best.
If you enjoy this podcast and this year you are ready to take your marketing to the next level, then check out Superfast Circle. This is a unique marketing program designed specifically for recruiters and their marketeers. You get access to 2 virtual marketing directors, you get consultancy, you get your hand held through the whole process, training, consulting, and we provide content resources. So go over to superfastrecruitment.co.uk /join and check out what's available.